Okay, so today I'm joined by Agz. He's a pretty popular GPO YouTuber, and he's also the first person who I'm going to ask this question on my list. And that question is, what do you want to see added to GPO in the future?
Okay, pleasure to be here. What do I want to see added to GPO? I've been kind of wanting to see an actual dungeon feature implemented for a while now. Whether dungeon or world boss, let's say world bosses, I would feel like it would add a social aspect to the game. Players getting a public server. I feel like it should be public server only. Players getting a public server, and every hour a boss spawns on a specific island, and maybe on that island add like a no PvP zone so people don't just get randomly raided or gripped for no reason, and players are able to farm that world boss. And let's say there's an NPC that looks for parts or leftovers of that boss, and you can exchange the parts for specific items and cosmetics, etc.
I think a world boss is a great idea, but to just add on to your point about it being a non-PvP zone, I could see like a more I think a better idea would be to have it so that where the world boss spawns, like that area is cut off after like a few minutes. So like after you spawn, it's like after like the first party gets in there, it kind of like stops everyone else from getting in there. And I feel like that would make it so like it's more like a rush to the area.
True.
That'd be cool. But,
it would be a bit chaotic though.
True,
but definitely that would be good as well. But I feel like if it made it so that as much players can fight the boss as possible, everybody has a chance of getting these drops that help buy cosmetics and stuff like that.
So what kind of bosses do you think would be, because like we have like Enel and we have like Gravito and like Whitebeard, and normally those like characters would be world bosses, like they are like world boss level. So what kind of characters do you think could be world bosses in GPO?
That is the problem. Probably non-canon bosses, like let's say like, what's the guy from Stampede's name? I forgot his name.
Bullet? I think it's Bullet, right?
Yeah, and when he transforms to the huge mecha thing, that could be a world boss, or maybe like a giant Yeti, because why not? And everyone just goes crazy on it.
I mean, let's be honest, right? It doesn't have to be like a one-piece boss.
Yeah.
It could be like some random, like, it's like a Kraken. Like, although the Krakens are in One Piece. Like that kind of thing could be a really cool world boss, I think. Like a Kraken world boss. You know?
Yeah, add some replayability to the game. More things to do for end game, not just PvP focus, because a lot of people do enjoy PvE more than PvP. That
is true. A lot of people do like that. Yeah, dungeons. That's a really cool idea. Because you played, what's that game you played? You always talk about it in your dungeon videos.
Oh, Vestria.
Vestria, yeah. So, how do you think you can incorporate some elements from that into GPO? Would that work, or?
No idea. See, GPO is kind of different because of Devil Fruit abilities, but I feel like it's definitely possible. Maybe like within that area as well, there's like some sort of jump quest / obi, and it cuts off your Devil Fruit powers, and you actually have to parkour in order to get to certain places or within that room that the boss might be in. Add some fun to it.
Yeah, I think dungeons are also a great idea, especially like the public server element. So I've always said that GPO feels like a single player game with multiplayer elements instead of, you know, like a full-fledged like MMO type game. So that like
everybody's hiding behind private servers.
Exactly. Like and like even dungeons, which were kind of invented to like give that like community aspect, a lot of people solo dungeons now. And it's like, well, I guess
a lot of people do solo.
What do you think about the official GPO dungeons then? Are they dungeons in your mind, or?
I feel like it's kind of like tower defense. It's like a GPO version of tower defense.
Yeah, I can see that.
you get the wave system, and then what makes it really unfair is that the player with the most damage gets the Devil Fruit drop. So
That's true.
there's always going to be some disagreements, or maybe you go into a server with some randoms and you get the fruit, but it's a fruit you want, and then there's just a whole bunch of issues.
I'm not sure if you ever played have you ever played have you ever played World of Warcraft?
I haven't, but I do watch people play it.
Okay, so are you familiar with how like their loot system works in like dungeons, where like you have to like roll need or like roll greed, kind of thing?
Oh yeah. That would be a fair implementation.
That would be pretty cool, I think. Like, imagine if like every time you kill the boss, you definitely like you were secured a drop, but like all the players had to like roll for it, or like
roll
had
for
to like
it, yeah.
That'd
make it way more fair. It's pretty, and I mean it adds RNG into the game, but Roblox is RNG, so
yeah, of course. Like I mean, there's already an RNG element like to the normal drop rates. Like you could like it's all about like I guess I want to say luck because I haven't got a better word. It's really luck based in terms of like
it's
drops.
1,000% like 1,000% like 5% drops. You can farm a boss 100 times plus and not get a 5%.
Damn. Yeah, I agree. It's kind of crazy like that. But yeah, so we've kind of covered the topic of dungeons to death now, I think. But yeah, thanks for talking about it. That was great. Any final thoughts on dungeons?
Get rid of the current dungeons and add real dungeons.
Get rid of them?
Get rid of it. Or at least name it something different. That's not dungeons.
Maybe like wave mode or something?
Wave mode. Tower defense mode.
So would you rather they create a whole new dungeon system, or would you rather they transform the wave system into a dungeon type system?
Oh, create a whole new one.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's bad to add more instances to the game because it splits the player base, which is why it's better if it's in a public server. So it's not instance based and it's spontaneous.
Yeah.
It happens within the world.
I really like your idea about public servers and making them useful, because like GPO, I never play in a public server. Like unless I'm like trolling, or, like I think after update 0, everyone just stopped going to public servers. Like before
update 0 / update 1, people really just stopped.
Like I imagine, like I'm not sure if you remember this, but update 0, Shellstown would always be populated. It didn't matter what time of night. It didn't matter like when or like how big the server was.
Shellstown was the spot, bro.
There was always people there. Always people there killing people. There was Alucard.
You could make friends in Shells, just randomly speaking to people, bro. Or you could start a crew war. Shells was crazy.
You can still do that, but this is another point I want to mention is that as the GPO maps got much bigger, the player server size has stayed the same. So now we have the same amount of people, but a larger space, right?
Oh,
so
that's true.
They're going to be spread out even more, and it's kind of like, how far can the map go before you just don't see people in public servers?
It's true, but hopefully, since update 4, we're getting second C.
Second C, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully it's like a whole new instance, because that would be nice. Second C is a different place, and you're guaranteed to find players within your specific level range in these places.
Honestly, I hope when Second C drops, like you go in Second C and it feels like a completely different game. Like I don't want to feel like the same game as the first C.
Yeah, just do quest and repeat that quest until you're max level again.
Like I want to feel like going into the Second C, it's like I wouldn't even be mad, right, if you went into the Second C and it was entirely rough seas. I would not be mad. I'd be like, wow.
That would be scary.
That would be scary.
Unwanted CBs following you around the map. Krakens
and like Krakens, yeah. And
man, that would be way too hectic.
That would be like, that's what I want the Second C to be. Like I feel like the first C should be a very calm place with the occasional threat and the occasional like scary thing, right? But I think the Second C should be like, it should be threat after threat after threat. Like you're constantly fighting to survive. Like it's like a dangerous place.
I genuinely feel like they should add a new way to progress.
Exactly.
A new progression system.
That
would be really nice.
You weren't there yesterday, but we were in the podcast with Sung, one of the admins, right?
Yeah.
And we were talking about this, and I suggested that so maybe in the new, like in the second C, instead of it being like a leveling system, it's more similar to like Rogue Lineage, as in like you just like have to do like these certain like progression quests, like get certain items and certain like moves, instead of it being like just levels.
Add like a storyline to it or something.
That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be really kind. That'd be nice.
I mean, like they do say that they have lore, right? Apparently there's lore in the works, but you know, we'll see how that turns out. Anyway, this got completely off topic, but yeah, I'm gonna. So yeah, thanks for joining me. It was great.
Thank
to hear
you for having me.
That's excellent. All right. Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Agz. All right.
See you.